Good morning, Barkley Brookers. Okay, this one was by special request. So I have this book here. It's called The Many Colors of Harpreet Singh. And this is a book about the Sikh culture. Well, it's not about the Sikh culture, but the boy in the story practices the Sikh culture. And one of the symbols of the Sikh culture is the turban. And the turban reminds Sikhs that everyone is equal. Way back hundreds of years ago, only kings and queens could wear the turban. And so once that kind of stopped, to make a long story very short, and everyone wore it, it's was a way for everyone to be equal and to be together. Not every Sikh wears a turban, but many do. It's a way to show that their commitment to their faith. And so Harpreet has many, many different colors for his turban. I remember we had some friends at Barkley Brook a couple years ago who had, oh my goodness, it seemed like every day there was a different turban, and it made it kind of exciting, like what were the boys going to wear that day to the library when I saw them. So it was exciting and wonderful and new for me to see, and I'm sure for some of you it's something new. But for our friends who are of the Sikh faith, that's not something new for them. So this story, The Many Colors of Harpreet Singh, can give you a nice little look. Harpreet Singh loved his colors, bright, muted pastel, or neon. He had one for every occasion. He wore yellow when he felt sunny, spreading cheer everywhere he went. He wore pink when he felt like celebrating, bopping along to Bhangra beats. He wore red when he needed an extra boost of courage. Harpreet took great care of his colorful patkas. He made sure they were clean and soft, smoothing each one out gently before putting it on. So up in this knot here is hair. It's another Sikh tradition to not cut the hair. It just gets tied up in the patka, in the turban. One day, Harpreet's mom announced that she found a new job in a snowy town across the country. It'll be fun, his mom said. It'll be an adventure, said his dad. It won't be the same, said Harpreet. Saying goodbye took a lot of courage. So I believe boys wear the patka until they can tie their own turban. You can see his father is wearing a different kind of a turban, and this is one that's hand-tied. Harpreet also had colors for not-so-happy occasions. He wore blue when he felt nervous, his heart thumping in his chest. He wore gray when he was sad, like a cloud about to rain. So here's his blue. Hugging, and here's his gray. And he wore white when he felt shy, not wanting to be seen. He's at his new school now, wearing his white patka because he's nervous and very shy. Lately at his new school, Harpreet had been wearing white an awful lot. He wore it on a field trip. He wore it for a class party. And if you look carefully at these, you can see everyone is spelling his name differently. He has a little bit of a different name, and his new friends weren't used to it. They couldn't quite get that name right. He even wore it on ordinary days, because even on ordinary days, he wanted to be invisible. Do you want to wear red? His mom asked. No reason to be brave, Harpreet replied. How about pink? Asked his dad. What's there to celebrate? Said Harpreet. Maybe all you need, said his mom, is a little sunshine. Harpreet shook his head and sighed. Look outside. No birds, no blooms, no beach, just cold. The next day, Harpreet went to school in white, feeling gloomier than ever before. It seemed like everything in his town was frowning along with him, even the snow. But it wasn't a frown after all. It was a smile. And Harpreet knew who it belonged to. It's the hat from the girl in his class. He found her and gave it back. See, when he saw it, it looked upside down like a frown, but then he realized it was that smiley hat from his friend from school. I like your hat, said Harpreet. I like your hat, said the girl. Mine's not a hat, actually. It's called a patka, said Harpreet. Mine's itchy, said the girl. Harpreet laughed. I'm Harpreet, he said. The girl extended a mitten. I'm Abby. The next day, Harpreet was sure to wear red, and for a class party a week later, he tried pink. It wasn't long before he dug his yellow patka out of his drawer. He made sure it was clean and soft, smoothing the wrinkles out gently before putting it on. Soon the trees had buds, and the outdoors were filled with the sounds of chirping birds. All that's missing is the beach, said Harpreet's mom. She turned to Harpreet. So, what color are you wearing tomorrow? Harpreet thought for a moment. Maybe white, he said, and he smiled. It reminds me of snow. Yes, Harpreet Singh loved his colors. He had one for every occasion, even just for hanging out with a friend. And so in the back here, it gives a little bit of information about Sikhism, where it comes from and why it developed. And so you can learn a little bit more about some of the friends that share your world and your school if you take a look at this book a little bit more closely. Or it might be something that you choose to research today. All right, my friends.